Hello, my name is Victoria Ann. I am 18 years old and I am transgender. I watch a lot of YouTube videos of transgenders and they gave me the courage and they inspired me to be able to share my story. So here's my story. Growing up wasn't always easy for me. My family were considered the weird ones. My family my family have a lot of disagreements with religion, with the lifestyle and the way that they grew up. Um, my family weren't considered a real family. It was a mixture of a lot of things. But you know, but that also struggled me through life because throughout my life I had a lot of up and downs. I have bipolar when I was growing up, and I have ADHD, and I was very different from the rest of the kids. I realized that, well, I didn't realize it, but when I was younger, figured, I knew that I wasn't the type of person that was popular, that was like the famous football team or the famous football player, baseball player, basketball player, or anything like that. I was very antisocial, and I had very, very few. I had absolutely no friends during school. They harassed me and bullied me, and there was something that my parents did not know what they've done to me, and what they said to me, and I still haven't told them to this day. But and it put me in depression, and the only thing that actually helped me through that problem was I was cutting myself. Um, and please, I do not recommend you guys cutting yourself because that is not the way you handle your problem. I was stupid about that, so yeah, don't do that. But anyway, um, I always cried myself to sleep, and my mom tried to put me in counseling to figure out, help me. Um, but nothing seemed to be working because most counselors I went through, they say, oh well, we can't handle you, or they don't want to help me, or stuff like that. Until I met this one counselor, his name is Ernie. He basically helped me through a lot. Um, but um, the only when I was in middle school, I was in 8th grade. I had I started making a little friend, but I was still getting picked on. Um, I realized that they were calling me faggot and homo and queer and stuff like that. They realized they realized that I was gay before I realized it. But to me, I didn't know that that was okay to be gay, back then and stuff like that. So I hid it from my parents. I was very sexually active. I not necessarily wouldn't call them boyfriends now, but I mean back then that's what I called them my boyfriend and stuff like that. But boyfriend does not mean you date them for a week and you go for the next guy. No, that's not real dating. Um, but I and then things gotten worse. I got into fights and people were breaking into my house. And when my parents went home, they threw rocks and dirt and snow at me when I walked to school. Anywhere I walked, they always did that. Um, and it just made me feel like living hell. Okay, it was a nightmare. Um, it wasn't the way it felt like I never belonged in this world, you know? So, and it just made me really bad. On October 3rd, I mean, not October 3rd, March 3rd, 2009, I was in 7th grade. I tried to kill myself. But if it wasn't for my mother to call me downstairs, I would have been dead. After that, I realized that maybe there is a second chance in life. The following year, when I started ninth grade at Edison High School, I began to understand who I was. Um, I realized I was able to control myself and to be able to socialize a little more better. But it wasn't the same. It was, but it wasn't. I had two best friends, and they were the best friends I could ever ask for. One of them was Andrea Sullivan, the other one was Khalifa Carrier. They both were my sisters. Um, I talked to them about everything, and they were the first person to know that I like boys. Um, and they were okay with that. And me, I thought that they wouldn't be okay with it, but they were. And so they began to meet my boyfriends and stuff like that. I never dated anyone in my area. I've always been on online dating, and that's where I started. I met them at the local mall. We hang out and stuff like that, and that's where I started getting like my little taste in men, what I like and what I don't like and stuff like that. Then sometime in April, uh, I w- sometime in April we had a meet. My mom and dad bought a bigger house because they wanted to move out in the country. I was scared. I was afraid that I would never be able to make friends like I did in Edison. That I was afraid that my life is all over and I'm gonna hate my parents forever because of the decision that they made. But they made a promise to me. They told me I could still go to Edison until the end of the year, and then when fall starts, I had to go to Forsyth. I was like, okay. On Mother's Day, in May, on Mother's Day of 2010, I met a boy. His name was Jonathan. He said he was 16 years old, but he lied. He was 18. I was 14. But I was talking to him and we hung out and stuff like that. That night, he asked me out. I said yes. 2 days later, on 2 days later, on March 11th, I told my parents that I was gay. That was the hardest thing I could ever have done. I wrote it in a letter because I couldn't say it to their face. That night, I thought that my dad was literally gonna beat the shit out of me. But he didn't. And I thought my mom was gonna ship me away and that I would never have a real family ever again. But it turned out a lot better than I thought. The only reason why they were mad at me was because of Johnny and his age. He lied to us about his age. He was 18 years old and I was 14. But I still fell in love with him. I ran away and I was doing drugs. I was doing all kinds of stuff. And that's why I failed freshman year. The following year was getting a little better. I was at a new school. I went to Forsyth High School. I made a lot of friends. And one of my best friends that was right there, he is still my best friend to this day. His name is Andrew, and he saved my life many times. Things were getting better. It was getting better, but at my home, when I was home, it got a lot of worse. My school life was getting a lot better, but home life was living hell. I still kept running away and stuff like that. So my mom sent me to to Canandaigua. It's a community residence home that I was living in. She sent me there in October. You know, and I met a lot of very good people that helped me a lot. They helped me with, me being gay is okay. It's not something that, you should hide. They gave me a lot of resources and stuff like that about how to deal with bullies and stuff like that. You know. So I came home and I started BOCES, the 811 program, in fall of 2012. I was going really great through my parents' eyes. But when my parents weren't looking, I was still the same person. I ran away. Um, I never, I never listened to them. I only listen to them when they want me to listen to them. And I was still doing drugs. I was smoking, drinking, and I was seeing my boyfriend that I met. And I promised my mother that I would never see him if I moved back home. Yeah. Oh, that's better. Um, when I was 15 and he was 19. Um, around when I was 16 or 17, I moved out of my mother's house and I lived with my boyfriend. Um, which, by the way, he's not my boyfriend anymore. He is my ex. I was with. Um, he I moved out of my mom's house to live with him because I wanted to live my fantasy world, have a sugar daddy, and have him take care of me, and I would live happily ever after. 4 months was good, was great. Um, I go to school, come home, and spend time with him. But as I got to know him, he was very abusive. He was not the person that I thought he was. He lied to me the whole time. He became to control me and he would beat me up and stuff like that. I was stuck. I had nowhere else to go. I tried living back with my mother and it just didn't work. My mom told me that I could never move back in with her, that we were done. That tore my heart. It really did. So I had no choice but to live with him. But then the following fall, I began to talk to my grandpa and my mom about finding a place of my own. And hopefully I would leave my ex. I found a place of my own, as you can see. But it wasn't easy for me. I was still, the one promise I was supposed to do was supposed to leave him and focus on the future. That is. There were some good times when I found my own place, and there was also rough times. The good times was I became to realize who I was. I wanted to become a female. I felt like that's who I really was, and that's how I wanted to present myself. It was hard for me, especially to admit to my family. Parts of my family are okay with it. There's other parts are not okay with it because of the religion matter. But the bad part was that I failed 10th grade. No, not 10th grade. 11th grade again. Actually I failed 11th grade. The very time. But I failed 11th grade, and that was because I kept not going to school. I had my boyfriend over, and I kept going up there to spend time with him. I stayed up there about 2 months. So overall, I missed half of the year of school. my ex made me drop out twice. Um, we didn't really drop out, but I was fortunate for this year. I am really fortunate. I am able to go back to school. I finally left him on his birthday of 2014. I left him for good. I told him that there is no us. We were supposed to get married on July 1st. I told him I couldn't do it. But, and I'm very glad I didn't get married because I am not ready. I am not ready to do that. So over the summer, I began to meet new people, but I was scared because I felt like I could have loved someone because I was afraid I might get abused and hurt and lied to. I tried to make some friends. I think I made some good friends over the summer, and I realized that they were there for me. And one of my best friends is Danielle Weber. She saved my life. I also have another family down here, and I call her my mother, and that is Brandy, and my sister is Clara, because they're the only people up here that I consider mother and I consider family, because my mom is down in South Carolina. It was really hard for me when I moved, but you know, I realized who I was, and I told my grandma, I was like, Grandma, I feel like I'm a girl. I realized I want to become a female. I want to dress as a female. I want to be a female because I thought that that's the life that I want, and I am confident in that. My grandma looked at me and she said, she knows. She knew the whole time. And I was like, what do you mean? She told me, you know, when you played dress up and I was dressing as a girl and I had like little shirts over my head and had little scarves and stuff like that. No, I said, yeah, I remember. And she told me, that that's how I knew that you wanted to become a female. So I began to do my own research on my own to find doctors that would help me do hormones and stuff like that. And I'm getting there. I'm actually not on hormones, but I'm doing some hormones to block my facial hair and stuff like that. But, you know, and try to come out to my family and tell them I am transgender. The only person I could say that is really 100% faithful with it, that is honest and they care about me, is my grandma. My grandma has been there for me more than anything, and after all that stuff I've done for her, I am thankful that she is still there. I've put her through hell. I've treated her bad. I've done everything. You know, I've done stuff that I should not be living because of it. But, you know, I'm still thankful. I mean, my communication with my grandma now is a lot better. You know, she told me her granddaughter and stuff like that. But she's the only one that actually cares. My grandfather, doesn't really accept it. I don't think he understands. I also have a step-grandfather. He doesn't care. He still calls me names, and he looks at me in a way that I don't like it. You know, like, I understand why he doesn't like me, but, you know, it's like, you know, I'm his grandson. I was his grandson. You know, he grew up with me, you know, but he never took the initiative to get to know me, to spend time with me, or anything. So to this day, he hates me. You know, I try to give him the respect to respect him because he loves my grandma and cares for my grandma. That's why I respect him. But the way that he treats me, you know, calls me names and stuff like that, and you know, looks at me with the dirtiest look because of who I am as a transgender. He didn't see that as a good thing. He doesn't think that is against the religion. It's against his belief in everything. You know. But back to my subject. The point that I'm trying to get is that if you're transgender, don't sit there and hide. Okay? Show that you are who you are. Okay? I don't believe that you should be called transgender. I don't believe you should be called gay or bi or straight or a jock or, you know, like a geek and all that, or a country boy or a redneck or the blood, the crip, or anything. I believe that all people are who they are. You know, to be honest with you, all people are who they are. Okay, all people are people. Okay, you know, if I love men, I love men. Okay, if a girl loves a woman, you know, that's okay. Because to be honest with you, if you actually think about it, okay, if you put a plastic bag over your head and you just talk, and you guys are all blind, you guys wouldn't know if they were a girl or a boy or black or white or anything like that, because they're all people. You know, that's love. Love is love. There is no correct definition of what type of love it is. Love is love. It's what happens in bed is what counts. It's what happens behind closed doors is what the outside does not need to know. You know, if you're transgender, then you are transgender. I am proud to be transgender. I am proud to be who I am. But, you know, I see that there are a lot of people out there that even to this day, they come to me, ask me for advice to come out to their parents and stuff like that. You know, I told them, I said, speak how you feel. You know, if the people that you tell don't accept you, then they are not true family or friends. They are not the people that you want to be there for the rest of your life. You know, I hate to say this, but, you know, if my mother or father had not accepted me, I would have probably said adios and turned around and never looked back. But, you know, it didn't happen like that. They accepted me. But, I mean, the point I'm trying to get is that for you guys to speak for yourself, to speak for the people that's around you. The only reason why this world is the way it is because people don't understand what it really means to be a human. Because they don't understand what it really means to understand what other people feel. You know, and it's really sad because it's the religion. The religion is what's really stopping us. It's the people who their generation and the generation before that. That is why we are so hateful. That's why people hate each other, and that's why the bullies occur and stuff like that. It's because people generation. Okay, you know, that's why people are who they are, because they don't understand each other's feelings. To be honest with you, if you got rid of all the feelings, we are still human. I mean, think about it. We walk, we see with our eyes, we smell with our nose, We taste with our tongue, we eat with our mouth, you know? Those are humans. We're human. There shouldn't be discrimination. There shouldn't be, you know, there shouldn't be anything. We should all be equal. You know? I mean, the world is really tough out there, but all I'm telling you is that if you speak how you feel, and you have like a bunch of people that agree with you, we can make a difference. Not in our generation, we couldn't make the difference. I mean, we could, like, to an extent, but if we speak now, then 20 to 50 years down the road, other people will be able to have the resource to be able to say how they feel and be able to be who they want to be because of the fact that we, us people in this generation, were able to stand up and take the courage to speak out for our rights and our freedom to be who we are, to be able to have the right to live and to be successful. Because in the end, the world would never go round if people are so hateful. They don't understand how we feel. Us transgenders, us gay, lesbian, queer, bisexual, all that. They don't understand that we have hearts, that we are good people, and we are not, we're not bad. We are very good people. We are who we are. We're just like everyone else. That's why I made this video. Thank you. I hope you liked it. Comment if you have any questions. Have a good night.